hit the live button. And hi, welcome back to another episode of what we like to call Business Learning Lab. I'm Jennifer Crawford. With me is Meredith Eaton. Say hi, Meredith. Hello. Hello. So this is where we love to talk about the lessons learned in our 50 years of combined business experience, because we've made a lot of mistakes, fumbles, bad decisions. They've all been very expensive mistakes, but the important thing is we've learned from them. We've moved forward in our business acumen, and we like to share these lessons because you know what, when we were less experienced business people, I wish somebody would have shared these with me. Maybe saved us a little bit of headache. So today we want to talk about investing in your team. And I put this sort of under the umbrella of people over profits, because that is a business philosophy that means a lot to us. We really apply that in our business. But what is it? What does it look like? And what does it mean in action? And I think this is a great opportunity to talk about that. For those of you with businesses who have teams, whether it's employees or independent contractors, or if you're planning to have a team in the future, I think it's great to think about these things in advance. It'll give you a bit of a head start in forming your culture and business philosophies. So
yes. And I think one thing to just start off the conversation is thinking of it not just in terms of what are you going to do for your team, but thinking of it first of all, that you are part of your team. So what are you doing for yourself? But also that when you are investing in your team, when you are investing your time or your money into helping your team, supporting your team, it's coming back on you at the same time. So you're making your life better, whether it's immediate or long term. But I think a lot of people tend to forget that part, and you're just like, oh, I have to spend money on all, I have to give all this money to my team. What about me? And that's where we get into the thing of like profits over people, because as a business owner, we think too much about, well, me, what do I need? What do I get? How do I do this? And that is a missed opportunity, because the more we invest in our people, the more time we get back, the more mental freedom we have, and the more our company grows. So.
Yeah, great point, Meredith. Yes, hashtag missed opportunities. Well, one reason this topic in particular was kind of top of mind for me is we've had some recent successes with our team that were a direct result of us sort of investing in them. And it just felt really good to kind of bet on our team and then have that come back, and that investment have a return and be a really good investment. So I know as a business owner, I've heard the advice of hire slow, fire fast. And I think that's terrible advice. I think it's terrible advice. So, we have a team of, 15 people at Move Forward Virtual Assistants. They're employees. And I'll give you a couple of examples. One is we had a team member who'd been with the company for a while, always been a great team member. She was on the team before we bought the company. We'd heard great feedback about her. She had been on leave for maternity. She came back, and she was struggling a little bit. And we determined that this was just a case of her being a new mom. She had other kids. Like, there was a lot going on in her life that, anybody would be struggling with what she was dealing with. So what we did is we just said, hey, let's take some time. We're not going to adjust your salary. We're going to pay you your full-time salary, but you don't need to work full-time. You can work part-time until your routine settles down and you are comfortable enough taking a full-time hours again. And it worked. It
Mhm.
was great. We gave her that grace period, that not even grace period, just grace. We didn't even really have
Grace.
a defined, a real hard line defined time period. We kind of let her take the lead on that. But she's now working full time. She is doing great. And I think she's really thankful that we gave her that opportunity. We had another like new
Well,
guy. Oh, go ahead.
let me just follow up on that
Yeah,
example.
yeah, go ahead.
So part of, I think, what worked was she felt like she had to keep all that inside. She felt like she couldn't come
Mm,
to her team lead or to us and say, I'm struggling.
right.
So instead it was coming to us through her clients and through just like this general observation. And we coached her team lead to sit down with her and say, talk to us, tell me what's happening. We want to support you. We need to know what your struggles are. And
Mhm.
that's where, and she wasn't even sure how to articulate it at the time because I think she had spent so much time like shoving it down and trying not to address it. So it was this process where again we invested in the team lead to help her grow as a leader
Mhm.
and coach her to coach the employee, the team member. And over time, so initially she just, the team member was just really grateful that we weren't firing her and that she wasn't in trouble. And once she realized that was true, once she realized there was no catch, there was no other piece that was going to come down, there's no penalty, then she started opening up more. She started being much more honest and much more upfront with her team lead, which made it so the team lead could support her in what she needed to get back to a place where she felt comfortable being full time. And I think it was like maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
she,
yeah, I
yeah.
think it was like 4 to 6 weeks, and just to fine tune that a little bit, we were also very clear that she didn't have to reveal what was going on, like, she just had to, just let us know, like, are you dealing with a lot right now? How can we help you?
Mhm.
It's really, none of our business what's
Yeah.
going on with our teams on their personal lives. We only need to know that we just needed to know that she needed a little help and that we could give her. Like, how can we help you? This is how we can help you. And to me, that was an investment because she had a proven track record of being a great team member. What are we going to do? Like, reduce her contribution to the team permanently? Or no, we're not going to let
Punish.
her go and then like have the expense of hiring someone else. Like, it was such a small thing to do to have a longer, bigger impact. So that was super easy. We also, we have an internal training program at Move Forward, and we had a new hire. And in general, like we like to see the new hires trained up in like 3 to 4 weeks. We had a new hire; it was taking longer. We determined that there was a learning style that she had that was not that we were weak on accommodating in our training. So we adjusted our actual training, but we granted her just more time to adapt to the training. And rather than giving up on her as a new hire, we just invested a little bit more time and energy in her training. It made us better trainers in the end because we're like, yes, people learn differently. They need different accommodations for that learning style. And it worked out. Like, she's turning into just a great team member. And
Mhm.
I loved that we made that decision to, in that probationary period where we could have,
Yeah,
just said,
just
well,
let her go.
it's not working out. We decided, hey, let's double down. She had a great attitude, and that made it an easy decision as well.
And again, like just reflecting almost in the moment as we're talking about this, I think the turning point with her was also that we encouraged her team leader to have a little bit more of a direct conversation with her. Do you think you like working here? Do you think you want to stay?
Yeah.
What is it that you feel like is holding you back from reaching the full potential that we want you to reach, that we feel like? And that's where we found out the learning style was a little bit of wasn't really being met. And so we were able to adapt. Is also, we learned there was a little bit of a misunderstanding of our culture. And so she wasn't really fully settling in, if you will, like
Yeah, that's
emotionally.
fair. Hmm.
Um, And so once we discovered that and we were able to address that as well, her team lead was able to sort of more directly have that conversation and say, like, this is really who we are as a company. Like, here's how, like, here's what we expect from meetings and like that kind of stuff. And again, it was almost like a switch was flipped, like almost immediately we saw this whole different level of commitment and this whole different level of she showed up, she started showing up
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
meetings, and we found just the exact right fit. She got the retraining, we found this perfect place for her in the different types of work. She's thriving.
Yeah.
It's just like so fast, but again, it took that little extra minute, that pause to reflect and say, hey,
Yeah.
What's a way that we can make this work? Because I use the phrase, we like to repair instead of replace. We want to do what we can, and it is so much more efficient. I mean, all the stuff we do to hire. So, reading the resumes, debating first interview, second interview, references, like it's time, it's effort, it's thought, and there's still so many unknowns. Are they going to work out? Will they be, we've had someone just not show up for her first day of work after we put in all that effort. So there's always these unknowns, and to repair, to support in these two examples took way less time than it would have to fire and start the hiring process to refill those positions. And the outcome was faster. So like they were up to speed, they were producing at top capacity way faster than someone who was new coming on would have. So,
yeah, absolutely. I think as a more, seasoned business owner, it's just, I could see a younger me may have been more frustrated with the situation. Like, oh my gosh, managing people is so hard, blah, blah, like, why can't people just do their job, and, it's funny, like when you have like more experience, and you really solidify sort of, your core values behind your company, and realizing that, if you just, invest a little time and understanding and empathy into, dealing with, any sort of conflict or situation that happens with your team, it's so solvable, with the right, intentions, behind it. And I just, I find it really, I've said this before, just so rewarding to work with them, because it's not just the turnaround of, the event, but it's also how much we learn in the process and how much our company becomes stronger because of the situation. Like, oh, we had to improve our training materials and how we approach training, and not assume that everybody is going to learn this way. That was an improvement. Just communicating with our team in a way that accomplishes a safe space for them to share what they want to share, while knowing that they don't have to tell us all the dirty details. If they say something's going on that's like weighing heavily on them and maybe affecting their work, we're going to believe you. We're going to believe you, and we will work with you. So it's just, I think one of the things I've always loved about being an entrepreneur is the learning. Like, you're always learning and discovering, and that whole process is a big part of why I love being a business owner.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. Me too. And like everybody learns. Our team leads are learning to be better leaders and managers, and we're learning, all that we're getting stronger as a company. And it builds the bonds both directions. We feel more connected to them because we've invested in them, and they feel connected to us because they know we invested in them. They know we treated them like human beings and not cogs in a machine, that they felt valued and honored as human beings who are contributing and aren't always perfect. And that is going to help with the bottom line as well. It reduces turnover, and that's just a practical outcome of this, from a business standpoint. It reduces turnover, which is really important when you have an agency model like we do, where you have our employees are servicing other businesses. And so turnover is an even bigger issue than it might be in another type of situation. So it's a win-win all the way around, and that making that effort. And again, our job keeps getting easier because we need to intervene less, we need to worry less as they all grow. And I mean, we just got a really great feedback from the one of the clients for the first example that we were talking about with the employee that just needed some grace for a bit. She's killing it. She's outdoing even what she was doing before she had the dip in her productivity.
Yeah, it's so good to say. And there, obviously there's so many ways to invest in your team. We sort of talked about, how we've invested in our team when they have like struggled in one way or another. Obviously, you can invest in professional development, training, invest, promoting them and like mentoring, like all sorts of things. And we hope we are, able and willing to, everyone's able and willing to sort of touch on all of them. But we would love to hear from you how you have invested in your team, are planning on investing in your team. If you're struggling with finding a way to invest in your team in a meaningful way, we would love to talk to you about that as well.
Yes, absolutely. So, all right, that's it.
That's it
for this week.
That's enough. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.